Hello, host Eric here, and welcome to Talking with Famous People, your headquarters for all things related to talking, famous, people, or the preposition with. As I indicated, my name is host Eric, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the purported link between psychopathy or sociopathy and the ENTP personality type. So, there has been some research done that has tied the sociopath to the 7 with 8 Enneagram type, at least according to some Enneagram people. Now, I have some uncertainties about that whole methodology there regarding the Enneagram, but I will say that I like some of the ways that it breaks things down that allow me to consider other dichotomies to evaluate myself on. And I think that's the critical component of any understanding of a personality model, is that it presents you a series of dichotomies to understand how you process reality. So we know that we don't just process it meaning-free. We don't enter into any given moment as a blank slate, anticipating that we will make a decision about which perspective to use. No matter how deftly we believe we bounce between perspectives, no matter how little attachment we feel we have to ideas, we are definitely aware, at least, we should be, that in any given moment, we're not trying on two of them at the same time, right? We're prioritizing. So the risk for the ENTPs is where we prioritize and how that gets paid off over the course of our life. So if we're thinking about ourselves as individuals who are becoming the behavioral patterns as they relate to the cognitive functions, which we can also call the cognitive perspectives, then we understand that for an ENTP who experiences a childhood in which they are getting what they want from NE, not getting checked, and developing rationalizations with TI that aren't getting challenged adequately, then you've got a problem situation where somebody's got a highly overdeveloped NE, TI is entirely in service of it and not engaged in objective self-criticism, and FE is wildly underdeveloped. So, in such a circumstance, I can imagine why people would imagine the ENTP personality particularly capable of becoming a psychopath. However, it's important to remember that a real psychopath, a real sociopath, is someone who lacks empathy for others. I don't believe any ENTP I've met falls into that category. I think we come off that way a lot more than we actually feel that way. And part of the reason for that may be that our own detachment from our own ideas causes us, as everyone's own nature causes them, to make assumptions about the world around us that are false. Namely, that other people are like us. That if we say words, well, it's just words. They're just, yeah, they might be true words, but that doesn't mean there aren't 100 different other truths that contradict them that are equally valid. This is sort of the default ENTP perspective on language, I think. And one of the issues that can arise with this is that we are surprised sometimes when other people are affected by our words in ways that we don't anticipate or intend. I know this for a fact. I've had recent email exchanges or text exchanges, especially in text, where people can't see your facial expressions. They don't know what kind of attitude you have in that moment. And all they're doing is reading your text. And sometimes ENTP text can be, I mean, the thing is, we're really good writers in general. I would say if you're an ENTP and write poorly, I would question whether you're an ENTP. But regardless, my point is, while we write really well, we're possibly overly enamored with the swordplay aspect of things, and with the mastery of the craft aspect of things. And sometimes we prioritize that over what we're actually saying. And so we may be saying things we don't actually mean just because they're rhetorically so effective. And we enjoy exercising that muscle. We enjoy exercising those skills. And we enjoy being that highly effective and insightful and innovative kind of voice in text. Are we always successful in trying to generate that voice? No. And a lot of times we'll come off not as what we want to come off as, but as instead a douchebag. So I've already made a video a little while ago about this douchebag who was commenting on this one chick's videos, and that's going up shortly. Anyway, beyond that, I just wanted to say regarding the sociopath thing, I would say no, it doesn't associate with any personality type necessarily. Even if it did associate with this personality type, it would have to be somebody who was broken in a fundamental and foundational way that I don't think I've met any real sociopaths before. Possibly one, but this woman that I'm talking about definitely wasn't an ENTP. So I dismiss this notion. I think it's representative of the fears and somewhat limited understanding of the ENTP by other personality types. People want us to fit clearly in a box. For example, I had a parent come to visit the school today, and her child's new, and her child was brought into the program by other debaters in the class, and then I discovered that she was really talented, and so I was like, okay, well, we got to have you in this class, for sure. And so basically, I just sidestepped the parents entirely and got her on board. And then her parents came in and were like, what the hell is this thing that's going on here? Why do you want my daughter so badly, you know? Well, and they didn't say those words, but that's basically the gist of the concern that they're trying to express. They're like saying, well, I'm not sure, what exactly are you? Who are you? What is going on here? Why are you interested in my kid? And that's a totally reasonable question to ask, of course. And so my response to it was to be completely honest about the whole thing, which says, well, I'm a debate coach and I'm used to winning. In fact, last year at this time, I had probably the strongest middle school team in the country. And I plan to get us back there. And I need your daughter because she's super talented. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm telling you, she's got a legitimate shot at state champion or national champion, and I want to win that shit this year. And then all of a sudden I fit in one of her boxes. Oh, okay. I get it. That's what you're interested in. Of course, I'm interested in lots of things. Do I want to win? Yes. Do I care about educating the children? Yes. Do I like to stand up there and have an opportunity to perform all the time in class? Yeah, I do. So when I go teach a class or coach debate, I have the floor. I get to talk as much as I want. Don't get me wrong. I'm not up there wasting time and being inefficient in any sense of the word. But when things are going well and we have time to play around a little bit, I'll make some jokes, of course. I love making jokes. I love making the kids laugh. And even when we're not screwing around, in the middle of stuff, I've got them, they know how to roll with my jokes and get right back on task. The point of me mentioning any of this stuff right here is that we are managing the reactions of other people. We're often also accused of being manipulative. That doesn't mean we're sociopathic or lack empathy. And even if we execute a given set of behaviors in a fairly cold fashion, pay attention to what's actually happening and what's the outcomes, and don't draw firm conclusions about our motivations based on your past data. Well, other people, when they do this sort of thing, are motivated by X or Y. It doesn't apply. And so I think that, I guess, the gist of where that stuff came from is that other personality types don't understand quite that I might appear to be any number of things, right? Look, a couple weeks ago, this place was way more of a shithole than it is now. It's going to get less of a shithole as I start to reorganize these shelves a bit more. Let's get this place especially more cleaned up, and it starts to look good. If I were to trim my beard, put on a suit and tie, change out this old chair with a new one, and maybe do a little bit of setting management to just generally concern myself with the perspectives of other people who encounter me in these YouTube videos briefly for the first time ever, well, I'm quite certain that I could present an entirely different opinion about myself. I know there are certain people out there who probably think I'm crazy. They see this guy with a big beard and he's got this garage full of trash. And like I said, you know, these are moments in a progression of moments in a life. And when it came time to clean up, because I had people coming over for a band practice, I cleaned up. When I got to go to work, impress parents, if I really need to, I might even put on a suit and tie. Probably not anymore. I probably don't need to do that anymore. I've got a lot of legitimacy. I built it up over the course of a decade of doing this stuff, you know? So, what I'm telling you is this. Are we pushy? Yeah. Sometimes. Are we callous sometimes? Absolutely. Is sometimes that totally justified? Yeah, it is. Natural consequences for stupidity sometimes means getting your chops busted. Like douchebag who commented on that girl's video. I mean, I had kind of laid a lumber on the fucker because he's being a complete asshole. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. Someone's got to put you in check sometimes. I've been put in check plenty of times. I'm not immune to it. I'm not the check master never gets checked. I get checked. I got to get checked. Everyone's got to get checked. It's how we go and say, all right, extroverted intuition, take a backseat for a while. It's time for me to focus on introverted sensing. It's time for me to handle my shit. It's time for me to pay my phone bill. So, again, to reiterate, number one, the central message of talking with famous people is always and will forever be, there is nothing wrong with you. And when others attempt to associate you and your nature with things like pathologies, for example, psychopathy or sociopathy, disapprove, disagree. Not in a defensive way, merely by pointing out that we aren't having it anymore. And ENTPs, I really would love to see us present somewhat more of a united front, because we're very non-united at all, right? I mean, that's just a thought. I'm not trying to push anybody into anything, because I know where that's going to go. You know, all I'm saying is, I'd love for us to be a little bit more united. Why are we always taking out our fightiness on each other? Like this poor girl's video comment page, it's full of all these fighty ENTPs fucking fighting. We share a common goal, which is liberty. The liberty to do what we want, how we want, when we want. Let's all speak. To the extent that we agree with that, let's speak it. To the extent that we feel like making shit, let's make it. To the extent that we want to put up on the internet, let's put it up. To the extent that it's too long and boring and unedited, okay, it's okay. To the extent that we want attention, that's okay. To the extent that we drop your cigarette, it's not okay. Thank you for watching, and have a pleasant evening. Talking with famous people.